Have you ever noticed that the first place the body quietly begins to weaken is not the heart, not the lungs, but the legs? Many people only realize this after a small moment that suddenly feels different. You stand up from a chair and it takes more effort than it used to. You walk up a few stairs and your legs feel heavier. A short walk that once felt easy now leaves you a little tired. At first it seems like nothing, just one of those slow days. But the truth is, for many adults over 60, the legs are often the first place where the body begins to lose strength. What most people are never told is that leg weakness doesn't usually happen overnight. It begins quietly and slowly. Muscles that once carried you through busy days begin to lose activity simply because modern life keeps us sitting more than moving. Hours in a chair, watching television, driving, using a computer, or sitting during meals can slowly switch off the powerful muscles in the thighs, hips, and calves. Over time, those muscles begin to shrink and weaken, and the first signs often appear in everyday movements like standing, walking, or climbing stairs. When the legs begin to weaken, other changes often follow. Balance becomes less stable. Walking becomes slower. Getting up from a chair requires more effort. And one of the biggest concerns doctors talk about is the increased risk of falling. A fall can change a person's independence in an instant. But here is something very important and very hopeful that many people don't realize. In many cases, this process can be slowed down and sometimes even reversed. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need intense workouts or heavy weights. In fact, some of the most effective movements for strengthening the legs can be done safely while sitting in a chair. Simple, gentle exercises can wake up the muscles again, improve circulation, and help restore the strength that supports your balance and mobility. These movements are especially helpful for seniors because they reduce pressure on the joints and remove the fear of losing balance. Today I'm going to show you 5 powerful chair exercises that can help activate the muscles that weaken first as we age. These movements focus on the thighs, hips, knees, and calves, the exact muscles that help you stand up, walk confidently, and keep your balance steady. When these muscles become stronger, everyday life begins to feel easier again. Standing becomes smoother. Walking becomes lighter, and many people notice they feel more stable and confident moving around their home. But before we get to those exercises, there's something important you should understand. Doctors often say that people don't lose strength simply because they get older. They lose strength because certain muscles stop being used the way they were designed to move. When the body sits too long and those muscles stay inactive, they slowly begin to fall asleep. The good news is that the body is incredibly adaptable. Even later in life, muscles can wake up again when they are gently activated and used regularly. Another surprising fact is that the muscles in your legs do more than help you move. They also play a major role in circulation. Every time you contract your leg muscles, they help push blood back toward the heart. Think of them as natural pumps inside the body. When those muscles stay inactive for long periods, circulation can slow down, which sometimes leads to tired, heavy, or swollen legs. But when those muscles begin moving again, blood flow improves and many people feel a noticeable difference in energy and comfort. So if your legs have been feeling weaker, stiffer, or more tired than they used to, don't ignore it. Your body may simply be asking for movement and activation again. The good news is that the 5 chair exercises you're about to learn are designed specifically for this moment in life. Simple movements that gently rebuild strength and stability without putting stress on the joints. And before we begin them, there are a few surprising truths about leg weakness that most people misunderstand. Some common beliefs about aging and muscle loss are actually myths, and believing them can stop people from regaining strength. In the next section, we'll uncover what is really happening inside the muscles and why the legs are usually the first place weakness appears. Now let's talk about what is really happening inside the body when the legs begin to weaken, because once you understand this, something very important becomes clear. The body is not simply wearing out. In many cases, the muscles are simply becoming underused. After the age of about 60, the body naturally begins to lose muscle mass, a process doctors call age-related muscle loss. But here's the key point that surprises many people. This loss happens much faster when muscles are not being used regularly. The muscles in the legs, especially the thighs and hips, are some of the largest and strongest muscles in the body, but they are also the ones most affected when daily movement becomes limited. Think about a typical day for many people. The morning may start with sitting at the breakfast table, then perhaps some time watching television or reading. Maybe a drive to the store, more sitting, and later sitting again for dinner or relaxation. None of these things are harmful by themselves, but when the body spends most of the day in a seated position, the leg muscles stop receiving the signals that tell them to stay strong. Slowly, those muscles begin to shrink and lose power. That's why one of the first signs people notice is difficulty standing up from a chair without using their hands. There is another interesting reason the legs weaken first. Gravity works against the lower body every day. The muscles in the legs must constantly support body weight whenever you stand or walk. When those muscles become even slightly weaker, the body immediately feels the difference. That's why tasks that once felt effortless, like climbing stairs or walking longer distances, may suddenly feel more tiring. It isn't because the body has reached some unavoidable limit. Often it simply means those muscles need to be reawakened. Many people believe a common myth that once muscle is lost in later years, it cannot be rebuilt. That idea has discouraged countless seniors from even trying to strengthen their bodies. But modern research and decades of physical therapy experience tell a very different story. Muscles can respond to gentle training at almost any age. In fact, even small movements repeated consistently can stimulate muscle fibers to become stronger again. The body adapts when it is given the right signals. Another myth that often causes concern is the belief that exercise must be difficult to be effective. Many people imagine intense workouts, heavy sweating, or complicated routines. But for seniors, the most powerful improvements often come from slow, controlled movements that safely activate the muscles. When exercises are simple and consistent, the body responds much better than when it is pushed too hard. Doctors and physical therapists also emphasize something called muscle activation. Before a muscle becomes strong again, it must first be reminded how to turn on properly. This is why chair exercises can be so effective. Sitting provides stability and removes the fear of losing balance. It allows the mind to focus on gently activating the muscles in the thighs, knees, hips, and calves. Over time, those muscles begin to communicate with the brain more efficiently again, and movements that once felt difficult can start to feel smoother. Let me share a simple example that many doctors see in their patients. A person may come in saying they feel unsteady when walking. They worry that something serious is happening. But when doctors evaluate them, they often discover that the leg muscles simply haven't been activated regularly for months or years. After just a few weeks of simple strengthening movements, many of those same patients report feeling steadier on their feet. Their walking becomes more confident, and everyday tasks feel easier again. Circulation is another important piece of the puzzle. The muscles in the legs play a powerful role in helping blood travel back toward the heart. Every time the calf muscles contract, they squeeze the veins and push blood upward. When those muscles stay inactive for long periods, circulation can slow down. This sometimes causes feelings of heaviness, swelling, or fatigue in the legs. Gentle movement acts almost like a pump, encouraging blood flow and helping the legs feel lighter. This is exactly why many doctors now encourage seniors to include small amounts of movement throughout the day, even if it's done while seated. Movement tells the body that the muscles are still needed. It sends signals that help preserve strength, support joints, and improve circulation. And the best part is that these movements don't need to take much time. Just a few minutes can begin waking up muscles that have been quiet for far too long. So if you have been feeling like your legs aren't as strong as they once were, remember this: weakness is not always a permanent condition. Very often it is simply the body asking for activation again. When muscles receive the right signals through gentle, consistent movement, they can become stronger, more responsive, and more supportive of your balance and mobility. And this brings us to the most important part of today's conversation. In the next section, I will guide you through 5 simple chair exercises that are specifically designed to activate the key muscles that protect strength and stability in the lower body. These movements are safe, gentle, and widely recommended for seniors who want to rebuild leg strength without putting stress on the joints. Now that you understand why the legs tend to weaken first, let's talk about what you can actually do about it. The goal is not to push the body hard or to perform difficult workouts. The goal is simply to wake the muscles up again and remind them that they are still needed. When this happens, something remarkable often follows. The muscles begin responding. Movements feel smoother, balance slowly improves, and the body starts to regain a sense of stability that may have been fading. The first movement is one of the simplest, yet it activates one of the most important muscles in the legs. Sit comfortably in a sturdy chair with your back straight and both feet flat on the floor. Slowly extend one leg forward until it becomes straight, then gently hold it there for a few seconds before lowering it back down. Then repeat the same movement with the other leg. This simple motion activates the muscles in the front of the thighs, which are responsible for helping you stand up from a chair and stabilize your knees when walking. Many physical therapists recommend starting with 8 to 10 repetitions on each leg. Move slowly, breathe naturally, and focus on feeling the muscles engage. The second movement wakes up the calves, which play a powerful role in circulation and balance. While sitting in the chair, keep your heels on the floor and slowly lift your toes upward toward the ceiling. Hold the position for a moment, then gently lower the toes back down. After several repetitions, you can reverse the movement by keeping your toes on the ground and lifting your heels slightly. These small motions activate the calf muscles that act like pumps for circulation. Many people notice that their legs begin to feel lighter and more energized after practicing this movement regularly. The third exercise focuses on the hips, an area that quietly controls much of our balance. While seated, place your feet flat on the floor and slowly lift one knee upward a few inches, as if you are marching while sitting. Lower it gently, then repeat with the other knee. This movement may appear simple, but it activates the hip flexors and stabilizing muscles that help the body maintain balance during walking. When these muscles become stronger, many people notice they feel more secure when stepping or turning. The fourth movement strengthens the outer hips and thighs, which are essential for stability. Sit upright with your feet slightly apart. Slowly move one leg outward to the side while keeping your foot lightly touching the floor, then bring it back to the center. Repeat this movement with the other leg. These muscles are often overlooked, but they play a critical role in preventing wobbling or instability when standing or walking. Activating them regularly can help the body feel more balanced and supported. The fifth and final exercise focuses on one of the most important everyday movements: standing up. Sit near the edge of the chair with your feet firmly on the ground. Slowly lean your upper body slightly forward and gently push through your legs to stand up. Then carefully sit back down in a controlled way. If needed, you can lightly use your hands on the chair for support. This movement strengthens the thighs, hips, and core all at once. It directly trains the muscles responsible for one of the most important actions of daily life, rising from a seated position. Now here's something very important to remember. These movements are not meant to be rushed. The real power comes from slow, controlled repetition. When muscles move slowly, the brain forms stronger connections with them. Over time, those connections help improve coordination, balance, and strength. Even practicing these exercises for just 10 minutes a day can begin to wake up muscles that may have been inactive for years. Consistency is the secret ingredient. The body responds best when movements are repeated regularly. A few minutes each morning or afternoon can gradually rebuild strength in the lower body. Many people like to practice these exercises while watching television or during quiet moments at home. The key is simply to make them part of your routine. It is also helpful to support these exercises with small lifestyle habits that protect muscle health. Drinking enough water helps keep muscles functioning properly. Eating enough protein supports muscle repair and strength. Gentle daily walking, even for short distances, can also help maintain the activity of the muscles you are strengthening. There are also a few common mistakes people should avoid. One mistake is moving too quickly through the exercises. Fast movements reduce the effectiveness and may strain the joints. Another mistake is stopping too soon. Muscles need consistent signals to stay active. Even on days when motivation is low, performing a few repetitions can help keep the muscles engaged. Perhaps the most important thing to remember is patience. The body does not change overnight. But when gentle movement becomes part of daily life, small improvements begin to appear. Standing may feel easier. Walking may feel steadier. And over time, the legs begin to regain the strength that supports independence. In the final part, we'll talk about something even more important than exercises: the mindset that helps people stay strong and independent as they grow older, and why the small decisions you make each day can shape how your body feels years from now. And now, let me share something that may be the most important part of this entire conversation. Strength in the legs is not just about muscles. It is about independence, confidence, and the freedom to live life on your own terms. The ability to stand up easily, walk comfortably, and move through your home without fear is something many people take for granted when they are younger. But as the years pass, these simple movements become deeply meaningful. I have spoken with many older adults who say the same thing. They don't wish for extreme fitness or athletic performance. What they truly want is something much simpler. They want to feel steady when they walk. They want to climb stairs without worrying. They want to visit family, go outside, and move through their day without constantly thinking about their balance. And the truth is, much of that freedom begins with the strength of the legs. What many people don't realize is that the body is always listening to the signals we send it. When we stop moving, the body slowly adapts to that stillness. Muscles become quieter. Joints become stiffer. Energy begins to fade. But when we gently begin to move again, even in small ways, the body listens to that signal too. Muscles begin to activate. Circulation improves. Confidence slowly returns. The 5 chair exercises you learned today may seem simple, but their impact can be powerful when practiced consistently. Each time you extend your leg, lift your heel, raise your knee, move your leg outward, or stand up from the chair, you are sending a message to your body. These muscles are still needed. They are still part of your life. Over weeks and months, those small signals begin to add up. Many people who begin gentle strengthening exercises notice subtle but meaningful changes. Standing becomes smoother. Walking feels steadier. Getting out of a chair requires less effort. Even posture begins to improve because the body feels more supported from below. And perhaps most importantly, confidence begins to grow again. Confidence in movement is something that protects us as we age. When people feel steady on their feet, they move more naturally, stay more active, and maintain the independence that allows them to enjoy everyday life. It is also important to remember that progress does not need to be perfect. Some days you may feel strong and energetic. Other days you may feel slower or more tired. That is completely normal. The key is simply to continue showing up for your body in small ways. Even 5 or 10 minutes of gentle movement can make a difference. Think of it like watering a plant. One small amount of water may not seem like much, but over time it keeps the plant alive, growing, and strong. In the same way, these simple exercises nourish your muscles and remind them to stay active. So if your legs have been feeling weaker lately, do not see it as the end of strength. See it as a signal, a reminder from your body that it is ready to move again. Start slowly. Use a sturdy chair, move gently, and breathe naturally. Give your muscles the time they need to respond. And most importantly, be patient and kind to your body. Because strength after 60 is not about pushing harder. It is about moving smarter, moving safely, and moving consistently. If this video helped you understand your body a little better, consider sharing it with someone who may also benefit from these simple exercises. And if you would like to continue learning practical ways to protect your strength, balance, and independence as you age, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join our community. Also, I would love to hear from you. In the comments, tell me which of these chair exercises you plan to try first, or share your own experience with strengthening your legs. Your story may encourage someone else who is just beginning their journey towards stronger, steadier movement. Remember, it's never too late to reconnect with your body, rebuild strength, and support the life you want to live. Take care of your legs, and they will continue to carry you forward for many years to come.